Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, my YouTube channel. My name is Rebeah and I make videos, lifestyle videos about Italy because I live in the north of Italy and I'm from the UK. So I just, make videos about my life and I give tips and helpful information for anybody that's wanting to move to another country or move to Italy. So the topic of this video today is going to be about language learning. Language learning is such a massive part of moving abroad, especially of course if it's a country that's different, if the language is different than your native tongue, right? So in my case, my native tongue is English, but of course I live in Italy now, so Italian is the language that I've been learning. You need to know. So yeah, this is the language, Italian. Right, so I just want to give you guys some tips. This video is perfect for anybody that's just about to set out on their journey to learn Italian. Maybe they live in Italy and they've just moved and they don't know much Italian. So just like some helpful information along the way, or for anybody that's going to just feeling like they want to give up or they're not feeling very motivated to learn the language, because believe me, I've had periods like this with Italian. So let's get into the video. Of course, I'm going to refer to my notes that I have here. All right, so tip number one that I'm going to give you is have patience. You just got to have patience with yourself. Be kind, have patience, set realistic goals for yourself and have patience to achieve. And if you don't achieve those goals at a particular time, it's also okay, right? Patience. You just got to remember when you were learning your native language, it took time. It didn't take 3 months. It didn't take two weeks to do it. It took time. So start on a high. So it's normal to start on a high. You feel good, you feel motivated. Then at some point you lose motivation, just like with anything that you do. Sometimes you start high and then it depends how low the dip goes, but just know that happens and that's probably part of the process. And just prepare yourself. It's nice to have like a learning plan, like a book or something where you write down and you write all your information. It could be like even a bit of a journal, or you write down things that you want to learn, when you want to learn them by, and also put in there there's going to be times when I don't feel like learning a language. There's going to be times where I lose motivation. So when you do lose motivation, you know that you was expecting to lose motivation. It's expected. You will along the way. All right, key. Okay, this is a big one. The big key for me is consistency, right? Consistency over everything. I believe that it's better. I've had periods where I've blasted out 4 hours per day, 5 hours per the next week, and the next month a little bit more and a little bit. So for example, 1 hour per day every day, or 1 hour per day. I'm realistic, okay? I'm realistic for myself, okay? I do 1 hour now per day, pretty much the same time every day, and then the weekends I have free without lessons. So I have a lesson every day on pre-reply. By the way, if you don't know about pre-reply, I've done a video about it and I'll pop it here or somewhere. And also I have what do you call it? Not affiliate link. It's one of those links that if you press on it, referral. I have a referral there, so if I refer a friend, you get a certain amount off, and I get some money too. The money, whatever I get, is of no cost to you. Right, so go ahead and check that out. Pre-apply is just perfect. I love pre-apply. Making the process simple, don't force it, right? Make the process as simple as possible, don't force it. Don't force anything. Just don't force anything in life in general. Make it just as simple as possible. Make it that you love it and you like it, you're enjoying it. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's very easy to get carried away and maybe start to see that somebody else is learning Italian in a certain way and trying to, copy what they do, but it doesn't work for you. If you find it's not working for you, don't force it. Maybe step back a little bit and then analyze what works best for you and then go and do that. Because when you force it, it just takes the joy out of it, and sometimes you can get burnt out quite easily. Aha, this moves on to my next point. Avoid watching lots of YouTube videos. YouTube videos, they can be really beautiful to watch them in the beginning to initially get started. What the videos I'm talking about, the polyglots, people that speak multiple languages and they do different challenges. Some of them do different challenges. Some of them, I love watching them. I watch them all the time. But this is why I'm putting this point in, because it can be quite addictive. And I spent many hours watching other people study Italian or study other languages, and I've not been studying. I've been watching them. And this type of thing gives you a false sense of achievement. After I finish watching a video, sometimes I feel like I've achieved something, like I've studied, but I haven't studied. I just watch them study, or they've given me tips on how to study. Whether I implement those tips or not, I don't know. But try to limit as much as possible the interference from outside, other YouTubers and other people and their methods. And like I said in the beginning, find something that works for you. You can use these YouTube channels to help you, but then know to stop. Actually implement these things, work on them. If you feel like they're not good enough or you don't like them, maybe watch some more videos and then learn something new from somebody else, their approach. So yeah, don't stop. I know this is going to somebody. Stop watching all those videos about learning languages, and especially those ones that say, learn Italian in 7 days, learn Italian in 5 minutes, learn Italian in 20 minutes, okay? It's definitely possible for some people, but for other people, it is not so possible. And to acquire a language in 7 days, it's big, it's massive. I think you can definitely get the basics for sure. But just be careful and don't put too much pressure on yourself when you see these type of videos. That's all I would say. Next point is, don't compare yourself to other people and other people that are learning the language too. I know I've done this along the way, and I'm like, why am I not learning quick enough? Help me. Why? What's going on? Blah, 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 questioning, like, why is it taking me so long? But when I actually look at things, and I look at things properly, I've not been consistent with learning the language, and that's been for many, many reasons, which we'll move on to another point I'm going to talk about after. I've not been consistent with it. So sometimes you have got to be realistic and think about, just analyze and think back, okay, have I been consistent? Sometimes you have to take stock and say, how long have I studied this language for? Yeah, maybe I've lived there for 5 years, but out of the 5 years, how long have I consistently studied the language for? And you'd be surprised what answer you get. So yeah, don't compare yourself with anybody. And also you've got to remember, everybody's journey is different. Some people, things were a little bit easier for them to learn. Some people this, some people that, some people this. My mum always says to me, used to say to us when I was a kid, don't watch what other people are doing, because you never know. You just never know what's going on behind closed doors. You just never know how they got what they got, what they're doing, if even what they're doing is true. And that's not to take anything from anybody, because obviously there are some people that will acquire the language a lot quicker or whatever. That's not to take anything from anybody, but you just stay focused in your own lane, basically. And also another point is that there are many people as well that you will see that do pick up the language quite easily, but they already learned a language already. They have a good knowledge of their own language, and that's very important as well. If you don't understand language, full stop, even your own language, say if you're an English speaker, you're a native tongue English speaker, and you don't understand, what a verb is, what a noun is, what a pronoun, what a compound, if you don't understand all of those things, it's going to be more difficult for you to learn another language, okay? Also, there are people that you're going to meet along the way that they pick up the language quite easily, but their native tongue was Spanish or Portuguese, or some other Romance language. Of course, it's going to be a little bit easier for them to pick up the language. So anyway, I'm not discrediting anybody for what they do. I know it takes energy to learn any language, but just focus on yourself, basically. All right. This is the point I was talking about. So when you're setting up to study the language, take into account your lifestyle, okay? Take your lifestyle into account and what you can actually do. Don't look at what John can do and what Harry can do, or just set yourself unrealistic expectations. just be honest with yourself. If you know you work from 9 to 5, when you get home, you've got to you know, socialize, you've got to do something, you've got to cook, you've got to clean. Realistically, you might only have 30 minutes to study your target language. So, you know, just be realistic and do that, because otherwise, if you set yourself unrealistic goals, it can be really painful, and you can be your own worst critic. Like, I didn't do the 2 hours that I said I was going to do. But if you put it at 30 minutes a day and you do the 30 minutes, you're going to feel good. All right. Okay. Another strong point. If you have any learning disabilities, any mental health issues, any chronic illnesses or any chronic conditions, or if anything like that, you've obviously got to think to yourself, possibly, I'm not going to, you know, sweep everybody with a fingy brush, but you've got to be aware that it might take you a little bit longer to learn the language. I myself have a chronic condition, so I know it's going to take me longer. When I'm in pain, all I'm thinking about is the paracetamol. I'm not thinking about learning any nouns or any verbs. Trust me, I'm not thinking about that. All I'm thinking about is when I'm going to take the next paracetamol. So bear that in mind, and just be kind to yourself that it's going to take you, possibly take you a little bit longer to learn the language that you like. Basically, buy an exercise book that fits you, fits your personality, and you like it, right? I fell into this situation where I would go and buy books, and then this is probably other people than I've gone and purchased books. It made me feel good at the time to purchase books, but I never used them. But the reason a lot of the time why I never used them was because I didn't really like the book. And then I forced myself, because I purchased the book and I spent my money on the book, I thought to myself, okay, I've got to keep using this book. But unfortunately, something happens there where there's probably a negative association. Because I don't like the book, it's not going to make me go and study Italian. So what I have learned to do is put the book down for a later date, purchase a new book or another book, or put the book down for a later date and then go back to the book once my Italian has improved. And I found once my Italian had improved, then the book, it becomes a little bit more better. Actually, I even feel better reading it, because I can feel that I've made improvements. I'm like, oh God, before I couldn't read this book, or before this was with this book, but now I understand this book, so I even feel better. So don't force it. Like I said before, we don't force things. All right. Start small or start big. It depends on your person. And I'm not going to say to you start big, small, or start big. It depends on what you go for. If you're somebody that is a type of person, I'm pretty much like this. I go with everything I do. I'm very intense with it. I have bursts. I'm a burst type of energy type of person. I burst, give a lot of energy to something, to anything for a period of time. Use a lot of energy, hyper focused, hyper vigilant on it, and then after it kind of dwindles away. But I use that to my advantage now. So in the beginning, I might start, but I give it my all, you know what that means, I give it my all for that period, whether it's going to be for 2 months where I can go all in and I learn a lot. And then after that 2 months, maybe I might start to dwindle away and I need to build up motivation again. So you just kind of have to learn your learning style and what works best for you. And I think that works with anything that you're learning, really, or anything that you're doing. Main point, all right. Yeah, black out the background noises. This is what's good as well. Sometimes you have to just, like I said, just focus for a while, get it done, learn the language, just do it the way that you best suits you. Block out all this extra stuff out there, these extra YouTube videos there and this there and all that, and just focus and just get it done. Put your head down, get it done, and it can be done. You can learn the language. No matter what you think, what you've told yourself, you can do it. Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of this video, guys. So that's just a little bit of motivation for anybody wanting to learn a language. There's some tips there, and I hope it helps you. Yeah, so that's basically it. If you have anything you want to add or mention, any motivation you want to give, please write something down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to read your comments. All right then, guys. Well, I'll see you in another video, and bye.